So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some base work. And here's the base. In the earlier video you saw how this was done. So we're going to figure out how we go about mounting it so that it doesn't move to the base itself. Well, it's a relatively simple process. And what I do is I've got some old Cat 5 cable and I strip off the outer casing, which leaves 4 different colored wires, 4 wraps. There's actually 8 wires in here total. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these, I'm going to separate it apart, and this is what I'm going to use to hold it onto the base. And how do I go about doing that? Well, I've got this about in the position that I want on the base itself, and I'm going to make a pencil mark on each side of the tire, the front and the rear, because you want a good you want to be able to hold it to the base pretty solid. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill 2 holes relatively close together. Right where I made that pencil mark will be the first one. And we go all the way through. We have our first hole, and then we just go right really close to that same hole. And go all the way through. Then we do the same for the front tire, right on that pencil mark. And we put a second hole close to that same hole. And then the bike will sit over those holes. Like so. And again on the back side, back here, so we've got a place to wrap the wire. I'll use the Dremel tool. And what I'll do is I'll put a indentation on each one of these. And the reason for that is these indentations is so that once you put the wires through, you can wrap them up and twist them kind of tight so that it'll hold them in place. I think I want to go a little deeper on this one. that flip back over. Now we've got space to run the wire through. And it doesn't really take a lot of wire to do this. A couple of small pieces are quite sufficient. And get these ready to go. Like that. And then we get our bike. We run this right through on either side. Whoop. And we run it in. We bring the bike down kind of for now, just to hold it in place so that we can get the backside lined up. And again, this goes through the wheel. Now the reason I don't use hot glue or anything like that, because over time when you display these out, when you've got them on display in your house or in a case or whatever else, that hot glue has a tendency of kind of weakening and it yellows out. And then now that we have it lined up, because the front wheel is actually going to be up in the air since it's going to be displayed that the bike is on the center stand. So the rear wheel is going to fit a little tighter to the base itself. When we go on to the back side, we hold the bike in place, and then I just twist these down. And once I have them to a point where I can grab, I take a vice grip and hold it tight and twist the wires up so that it's holding the bike down. In place, and then I come out here to the front and get the front one lined up. That's where I want to hold that in place. And I do the same on the back side for this one. Although I'm not going to pull this down and near as tight as the rear wheel. But I am going to do the same on the back side here and twist it up until it's got a good twist in there. And then we've got the bike on the base. It's not going to fall off. And you can recheck and make sure that you've got the wire snug to the front, like I just did here. And make sure everything's pretty tight so that it's not going to move. And then you come over to the back side, and what I do is I snip and get it kind of close. I force those into that little space. And then I snip the other one and get that into its little space. And then we have the bike mounted to the base, and it's not going to fall off. So that's it for the base being mounted. Or the base being mounted, actually the bike being mounted to the base. And once again, I'll shoot some pictures of this and add that up in a slideshow format right after this. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And we're getting closer and closer to the finish, folks. So hope you're enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying building it. So once again, thanks for watching.